And we are live. And hello, everyone, and welcome to Command Your Confidence. It has been a minute here. God, I think it's like 2 months now since I've last done any content. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
been a
happy to
while.
be back here. Tino actually reached out to me last a couple of weeks ago. He's like, Rob, are you still around? Are you dead? Are you still alive? I'm like, yeah, I'm still alive. I'm like, well, this would be the perfect opportunity to do a show. So welcome again on the show, Tino. I look forward to, like I said, it's always a blast chatting with you and stuff. And we got a great show today. We're going to talk about like what you'll learn when you get your experiences with women. And I think this is a very good topic because you will learn a lot, not just
Most
about
definitely.
women, but a lot about yourself as well.
True.
So yeah, let's get rolling. So what would you have to say is like some of the things that men will learn uh, when they have their experiences with women?
I mean, it's really holistic. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about communication. You learn a lot about just like the dynamics of men and women and how that kind of plays out. I've always said that every relationship is an opportunity for growth. So regardless of what happens, it's like a mirror, right? Like she's reflecting back things of about yourself that maybe you're not even fully aware of in terms of energies, confidence, clarity, and just kind of overall like mindset even as a man. So
Mm-hmm.
you learn a lot. You learn a lot about yourself, and we don't usually think that that happens when you get into a relationship with another person, but you do build a larger sense of self awareness, I believe.
Mm-hmm. No, and I agree with that. Like, I think with every woman, it's like a different experience, and you do kind of have that growth because I mean, even if the relationship goes bad or whatever happens, I mean, you learn stuff to help better yourself eventually, which is good. And I think we need to have that
Hmm.
because, like, I think sometimes, like, I don't know, I got in, like I said, it's been like 2 years since my last real relationship. Okay, and then after that, I just because I didn't really have too much experience with women and stuff, and so like that's why I decided to for the past God, yeah, 6 years, just kind of like do the casual thing,
Hmm.
and because like I don't know, like I felt like I didn't you know I was lacking in a lot of experiences and not opening myself out to see what's out there and everything.
Hmm.
And and it's been a bumpy ride, a wild ride, I should say, full of adventures and full of like ups and downs. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Well, yeah, I think everything that you experience can teach you something. I think adversity is your biggest teacher. Failure is your biggest teacher. So, if something doesn't work out with a girl that you're seeing or a person that you can always take that situation up and look at it objectively and say, well, what can I do better the next time? Or what can I take away
Hmm.
from this? What lesson can I learn? So really everything is kind of an opportunity to better your own awareness of yourself.
Right, exactly. No, it's funny you say that because like I just recently got out of a situation with a girl I was with for a year. It wasn't anything serious and everything,
Mhm.
and we just kind of ended it like towards the beginning of the month. Well, I don't know what's going on with it still. We're still trying to work it out. Um, but just having this time apart away from her, I just had a lot of realizations, stuff about myself. I questioned myself. Do I, you know, should I got to open up more if I realize I see a potential partner for a relationship rather than hold back. I got to
Mhm.
realize, like I realized I had to let go of certain things.
Mhm.
Um, I had to realize too that yeah, well, do I really want to continue having a casual experiences with women?
Mhm.
Because like I think, when you meet someone who really like you know who's special, you gotta I've learned you gotta realize that you gotta because you get so caught up in like the sex and everything, and that you kind of
Sure.
get blinded and you close off. And I guess like when you see those signs in another person, You got to open your. I realized I had to should open up more if I want to continue to move forward, because I realized after getting out of that situation, the fact that I didn't open up, and I was like not really sure what I wanted. It kind of put me in a bad place, and
Mm-hmm.
it gave me a lot of time to reflect upon myself and like what I wanted uh, moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, anything like that. And actually was telling you off camera how I had a similar kind of experience where I got out of a relationship recently as well. And in that, just learning from the breakup, learning from some of the things that we discussed or just didn't discuss, things I wish I would have done differently, or ways that we could have potentially uh interacted in a different way. I mean, there's just so many things. And I think anytime you go through something like that, whether it's the right relationship or the wrong one, I mean, I think most of the time when it's the wrong one, you end up learning more about yourself and learning more about what it is you truly want. Um, you just get a better sense of understanding, and I think you kind of understand more of what women are more about, because I think, I think we've talked about this before on the videos. You can only learn so much about females and dating and relationships by watching videos, by reading books, by watching movies and TV shows. Until you actually go out there and experience it yourself, you're not going to have a good judgment on what to do in a certain situation until you're actually in it. It's hard to say.
No,
So
that's
yeah,
right.
you need to.
Um, you're right. You got to go out there and you got to have those experiences. Like, I mean, because you got to know what you like and what you don't like in someone,
Sure.
and you got to like fuck up and learn from your mistakes.
You have
But
to.
no one can be perfect though. Like, cause a lot of people like, like it's weird. Like, cause I get this, like some women want you to like read their minds, but I like, you can't be Mel Gibson and know what women want,
That was a good movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I guess it teaches you to be more like, I don't know. I guess you have to figure out develop some sort of awareness or some shit like that. But no, it definitely like, when you get out there and you have those experiences, it's definitely something. I mean, you're gonna come across those people who you vibe with and people you don't vibe with. Like I said, and from there you can kind of get a feel from like what you want, and then I don't know, I guess as you're going through these experiences and everything, and the more you kind of realize what you want and stuff, the more you will, when you get out there and meet someone, you'll be like, okay, these are the qualities that I'm looking for in a person.
Yeah. Yeah, it builds that awareness around the ideal qualities you like, because you're going to be exposed to things in a relationship, or really even just if you're seeing somebody, for a lengthy amount of time. You're gonna be exposed to a lot of things that you don't like, and, you might not even know there's things you don't like. That you might not be aware of, certain things that turn you off, or things that aren't, appealing to you until you actually see it, and you're like, "Oh, I don't like that," but I didn't know I didn't like that until someone showed me. So you have to be aware of things like that to just come up when you're not really expecting it, um, because it does help kind of, like you were saying, kind of shape that mindset, shape that belief around in the future. This is one of the things that I need to look out for, because I'm not cool with this. I That's a non-negotiable for me, or if it's a red flag for me. You have to, be sure that you're not making the same mistake again and again. You're learning from that.
Hmm. Right, exactly. And I know, and I guess how I pretty much learned from like my last thing, because I really got stung. It hit me hard, and so
Hmm.
like that's how you're gonna like embed it in your mind and stuff. But it's actually given. It's weird because like I've been on like I feel like I've been on autopilot, not truly present, just because I've been like super busy with a lot of stuff like these past few years. And there's been a lot of stuff just like going on in my life that's been causing distractions, but like this also like given me some time just to kind of be more present, because like I'm kind of observing myself and everything,
Hmm.
and you just kind of like, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, it's just like a whole new experience. You kind of, I don't know, it's like, why were you closed off? But
Mm,
like, maybe you don't have to be closed off. You know what I'm saying? You
mm-hmm.
know, you can't um, hold things, take things too personally and stuff, and you just gotta learn to not be afraid to take chances and move forward and stuff. And I think that's a lot of the things that it has happened. But no, it's always like I said, I think it just gives you time just to kind of reflect upon yourself, observe, and you grow from that. And hopefully, like when something bad happens, you learn next time what, because the signs of like someone who is really into you and stuff, and you know whether or not you want to continue that, or if you want to, you got to do what you got to do to keep that going. If that means opening up, or like not being afraid to jump into like a serious relationship, then go ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I agree. I think just kind of knowing what limitations or some of the weaknesses that you had, and kind of learning to fix those, because like I said earlier, your girl is basically a reflection of the things that you are maybe not paying attention to in yourself, because she's going to project some of that back onto you. Like if you're, let's say for example, bad with time management, just throwing out an example here, it's
Hmm.
gonna reflect into her dynamic, because you're probably not gonna be setting up dates properly. You're not gonna know how to lead her properly. Maybe you're always late, or you're not good with managing um, time in your work, and you're spending too much time with her or not enough time with her. Like you're probably messing that up somewhere, and she's gonna be reacting to you not showing up the way you should. And that should be an indicator like, damn, maybe my time management isn't that great, or my confidence isn't where it needs to be, or my discipline isn't where it needs to be. Like there's always things that your girl is showing you, that is basically a direct reflection of what is going on with you. And same thing for her too. How you react to her should be kind of her, her reflection too. So just stuff that you got to be aware of, and things that you need to just be mindful of, like, hey, maybe I do suck in this area. Cool. Can I deal with this? Or is it something that is like unfixable? Is it actually something that's just part of me? So you just kind of have to be aware of stuff like that. And like we said before, just do your best to not make the same mistake again and again, because that's, the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing and then expecting different results.
Hmm. Right, exactly. Oh well, and that's the thing. Yeah, you just gotta, like I said, once you can go and make that change. Because yeah, if you keep on doing the same thing, like you are gonna get the same result. So you
Yeah,
got to be willing to make that change within yourself.
for sure. And I
Uh,
think that's an important point too, is when you're making a change, you're doing it for a better purpose. It's not just because you're doing it to attract another woman, or you're doing it to, somehow validate yourself to this girl that maybe you didn't work out with. You're doing it to literally just better yourself as a man. It will carry over into your next relationship, but you have to have the right intention too.
mhm. Right, and you got to be willing to do, and when you do go out there and whatever change it is you're doing, you got to have that change. You got to have that feeling. You got to want it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. For sure.
And you got to do it because you think it's right for you. In your life, it's going to
Hmm.
benefit you. Don't do it out of fear or scarcity.
Yeah, 100%.
Um,
Totally.
yeah, moving forward, moving on now. I think another thing that like I've learned, and I think anyone can learn, is like basically if you go out there and you just go out there and experiencing a lot of women, I think you become a better communicator. I mean, like, 'cause, yeah, at first, like
Yeah.
a guy who has no confidence talking to girls and stuff, and actually trying to uh, build a connection and have build I don't want to I'm going to phrase this differently here, but able to have the sexual confidence to get the girl into the bedroom, and after building that connection, I mean that's a whole new skill set in itself. And um, you know just going into that, like I remember I couldn't do any of that. Had a hard time just talking to a girl, like going on dates and stuff. Like I was just like, this plain average guy, but I learned how to like, use my confidence and charisma, and how to, how to have different communication compared to other guys. Because like you go on these dates all the time, and a lot of people ask like the same boring questions and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
which is fine, I guess, but I guess you can answer them in a more, as I say, interesting way.
Hmm. Yeah, you just have to be interesting. And if you're really passionate about something, or you really have a deep understanding, and really just a huge knowledge base of what you're doing, it's going to sound interesting. It's going to come across as, charismatic, as fun, as intriguing. Like if I knew nothing about, collecting paper airplanes, or like whatever, like if I had knew nothing about model airplanes, for example, well, I'm not gonna know. Like, it's not gonna sound interesting because that's not something I'm even like passionate about. But if I had a
Hmm.
deep, deep like interest in that, and I took the time to do my studying, I was obsessed with it, all about it. Well, I'm gonna like talk like I have more conviction in what I'm saying. I sound more like confident in myself because it's something I generally do like, and
Hmm.
that's something I think guys miss, is they think they need to have all these like crazy hobbies and these like wild adventurous interests. What you can, if that's something that you like, but it's just the key is to just have that genuine interest in something, and to just be interested in it yourself. Because if you're into it, most likely someone else, if she really likes you, she's gonna want to know why you're so into it like that, and that alone, I think, will make her interested.
Hmm. Well, in getting back to the communication, I think the more you go out there and do it, I think, and I realized the more confident I was, in my communication.
Mhm.
And, and also I learned how to kind of be more, let, some of my, I used to always like hide my sense of humor because I really had a bizarre sense of humor, but I learned how to just be comfortable with expressing that and communicating that, and like
Mhm.
it's weird sometimes, I go out on dates and, you don't even want to swear because you think that's bad. And I remember I've gone on some dates with some women and they've dropped some F bombs and shit. And
Mhm.
they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Because it's like part of the like a conditioning, you know what I'm saying? So you just learn how to like the more you communicate, you're more at ease, and you kind of just let part of your personality flow.
Mhm. Yeah, you just get comfortable with yourself, and that communication is key, because not only is it going to help you with relationships, but it's going to help you with potential business. It's going to help you with, just creating your networking skills, your ability to meet somebody. You could even land a job that way, obviously having really good communication skills. So it just translates to so many different things. And I feel like the
Right.
more comfortable that you are with yourself, and the more confident you are in your abilities, and who you are as a man, it makes it a lot easier. So yeah, that's definitely the
Hmm.
foundation of it.
Right. Exactly. And then you just moving on to like, I remember, um, I was always afraid to kiss a girl on the first date, or I felt I had to wait to the third date moving for a kiss. But I realized it's okay to like test the bounds if you feel the vibe is there, and just kind of see where it goes. So like that's just being able to make that move and show the girl I'm interested in her in another way as well. Not because like you gotta express yourself, that express to her that you are interested in her in a sexual way. Because if you're too friendly all the time, you end up like just being a friend in her eyes. If you know what I'm saying.
Mhm. Yeah, you definitely have to show intent, and that comes across in many different ways. There's a bunch of ways to do it. I'm more the direct kind of person. Like, if I like you, I'm gonna tell you, hey, I think you're attractive, wanted to meet you, whatever. Like, this being as direct as possible. So yeah, you have to kind of be just honest and authentic in that moment. If you do have some interest, like, you have to make it known. Otherwise, she's just gonna assume, well, he's just talking to me. Maybe he just wants to be my friend, or he just wants to be casual, whatever. Like, you have to kind of make your intentions clear, and be direct about it, because that'll mess you up a lot of times. Like, some guys, they talk themselves out of a girl actually liking them, because they're going on without actually ever kind of getting to a point leading them towards anything. So that's very important.
Mm-hmm. Right. And yeah, see, that's another thing too. I just learned how to be, like you're saying, more direct in my communication because, like, it will save you a lot of time in the long run. You know what
Totally.
I'm talking about? Just a real like rather because I remember I guess like so I would before I was inept in that area at first, and I would just like continue on messaging a girl like say you know if she you meet them on the app and then they're like, well, we got to get to know each other more, you know, and then you message them for 2 more days and like then you finally ask for a number, they say no. But now I
Yeah.
just don't tolerate that. I'll do a little bit of messaging, but
Mhm.
normally, like, if I don't get a number with, after like 4 or 5 messages, then it's not going to go anywhere because I prefer. I realize what I want, especially if if I'm meeting someone online. I would like to get the number right away because it shows that they're serious. I like to have a conversation with them just to kind of get the vibe for what it's like. And then if it's going well, I'll set up a date. I don't want to like be messaging for weeks on end and having it go
Mhm.
nowhere.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, you do have to have that leading type of energy for that, and it's so funny how that's so it's so similar to business because even in business, when you're trying to attract leads and you're messaging leads to get them into your pipeline or for potential sales calls, it's the exact same kind of thing. Like you want to start that conversation, you want to build a little bit of rapport just so they know that you're a human being, like you're not a robot. You know how to you know how to relate to people, but still you do have to get to the point. You have to let them know, hey, this is a sales call. Like I do want to offer you some value. Are you open to kind of jumping on something like that? You have to make it known. And the more polarizing you are in that way, they're either going to say yes or they're going to say no. And at the end of the day, if they say no, you save yourself a lot of time. If they say yes, you have a great opportunity there. It might go nowhere, but it could turn into something you just don't know. So yeah,
Hmm.
being direct is great in your communication skills.
Mhm. But did you ever struggle with that at first, or is that something you had to learn?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I used to be the kind of guy who I thought that if I ignored a girl and didn't like talk to her at all, that would somehow make her like me more. Or like I wouldn't like try to talk to her at all. I'd kind of like this back in high school, I'd like be in the distance and just look at her from like across the room and like not actually like say anything to her, but kind of like look at her in like a weird way. And I would always think that that would somehow she'd come to me at that point, but it was just like super validation seeking, super like weak, and it just doesn't work that way. But, yeah, I had a lot of trouble kinda, like, being just honest with women and telling them, "Hey, I think you're cute," or "I wanted to talk to you," or leading them to do anything with me. That was one of my big hangups for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, and that's another thing. I mean, being honest and just being able to take the lead in certain situations. That was, because I struggled with that a lot, and I realized that's important
Yeah.
sometimes to do that. Because I've had a lot of girls like, when I invite them out on a date, they're like, "Wow, I'm glad that I like that you had a place and a time set already." Most guys don't do that. Most guys ask me where I want to go.
Yeah. Seriously, that'll set you apart. If you can be direct and you know exactly what you want and where you wanna take them, it just makes the whole thing that much smoother. Because 'cause I'm not gonna say his name because there's, some confidentiality, but I had a client story tell me and this was like a friend of his, not actually a romantic relationship, but principle still applies. She's a woman, they have a platonic friendship, but again, same principle still applies. They went out and I think they hung out at a carnival or something, and then afterwards, uh, they had some free time, and he didn't know what to do. So she asked him, "Hey, do you want to go to this bar?" Now he's not a big guy that goes out to the clubs and doesn't drink that much, so it wasn't really his scene. So he says, "Okay, sure." He picks wherever she wants to go. They go to this bar, and turns out to be a gay bar. And
Mhm.
he was like super just like out of his element. Obviously, like he didn't he doesn't go to gay bars like that, and he was really uncomfortable. Had to go outside and just kind of like keep his distance and say, "Hey, I'm not really comfortable right here. I'm gonna step outside." Didn't want to be in the situation. And I remember telling him, I said, "Okay, well, your first mistake was you let her choose where to go. If it doesn't even matter if she's a friend, it doesn't matter if it's a relative, like girl, romantic interest, especially, but." set that agenda. If you have a preference or you have something you like to do or a place you like to be, make that decision first. Say, "Hey, I like to go here. Let's check this place out." Don't wait for her to kind of make the decision, because she will take you somewhere. And sometimes it'll be in a situation like that where you're not comfortable, you don't feel like you're in your element. So you have to take that initiative and be direct because, um, you don't want to get into a situation where it's totally like not where you feel comfortable.
Right. No. And sometimes I have been lazy, and yeah, the girl I asked the girl what she wants to do. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But I guess it happens. You kind of get complacent and shit and forget about that.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, but yeah, you gotta set it straight when it's there. And she even asked him where he wanted to go, and he said he didn't know, and she just made the suggestion, and then they went to that place. I'm like, well, could have been avoided if you made the move first.
Hmm. Right? No, that's true. Yeah, because then you end up like, yeah, like you said, feeling out of the element and everything. You like
Mhm.
with the client out. So no, I hear you on that. I mean, and sometimes I can, just not being able to take the lead can put you in a just very uncomfortable position that you may not want to be in. So
Mhm.
it's very, it's very good. But yeah, any mindsets that you have had though during from your experiences that you've learned about women or
Um, I mean, there's a ton of things that I've learned in my experiences in terms of mindsets. Like, you just can't be afraid of saying what's on your mind, kind of just speaking authentically, I'd say. Just whatever you find funny or whatever you want to do. Like, again, kind of comes back to that example. Like, if you have a place that you like to go to or a scene that you wanted to share with somebody, even a piece of like a slice of pizza that you enjoy and you know where that is, like, don't be afraid to just assert that opinion or assert that potential to do something and kind of take that initial lead in the beginning. And
Mhm.
anything like that will just pay dividends, and especially relationships with women or just interactions with women. That's what they're looking for, is that guy to kind of take the lead, take charge. And you could practice this with your friends. Like, if you're in a group of friends or your family, and everybody's deciding what to do for the night or what to eat for dinner, and everybody knows how that goes. They always kind of ask each other, well, "What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Oh, I want to go over here. I want to go over here." And for a while, you notice in that group, there's no decisions being made. They're kind of just going back and
Oh
forth.
yeah.
Just be the one to be like, "Hey guys, here's what we're gonna do. There's an awesome burger place down here. Let's check it out." And it's not like you have to go to that place. I mean, people might not want to, but at least you're the one person who's trying to take the lead and trying to make that, "Hey, this is the place. Let's check it out."
Hmm.
And if they don't want to, that's fine. But just being able to start doing that and getting comfortable doing that, just makes it easier.
Hmm. Now you mentioned something earlier about not being afraid to be authentic. Saying what's on your mind. Do you
Hmm.
think that's a lot of things men struggle with when it comes to women?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, because they wanna fall into this, you could say, nice guy category, but it's really like they don't wanna say something wrong, or they don't wanna say something that might turn the girl off, or, she doesn't like him after what he says. They try to be this person that they're really not because they think that that's what she wants to hear. So, you just gotta be authentic. You just gotta be really, like, true to yourself and say things that you find, again, things you find funny, things that you enjoy, things that you don't like. You like, don't cover up your opinions because some other person doesn't agree, or they like something that you don't like. Don't just go along with it because you think that that's going to make them like you more. It doesn't build a authentic, like, a genuine connection. It just doesn't end well. So just don't you can't be afraid to say what's on your mind. Even if it's something that might piss a girl off initially. She might get upset for a second, but a second later, she could be laughing and she could be loving it and she could be digging your vibe because you just weren't afraid to say something. So it's yeah, extremely important.
Right. No, I hear you. Yeah, because like I think that's true. A lot of guys are just afraid to like say certain things just because of the reaction and stuff that might come out of it. But I
Yeah,
guess that's how you learn about the other person.
you do. Yeah, you kind of test their boundaries a little bit and kind of see what they're comfortable with, what they're not comfortable with. And I'm not telling guys to like say some like outlandish, crazy, inappropriate shit. I'm just telling them to
Oh, come
just
on!
be,
I was hoping you
you
would do
know,
that. No, I'm fucking with you.
well, some guys would think that. Some guys would think, well, that means I could say fucking anything and just like get away with it. And I'm like, no, there's social guidelines that I think we all unconsciously follow. I'm not telling you to just do something insane, but don't be afraid to push those limits a little bit. Like do something that's a little out of your comfort zone or say things you normally wouldn't say in conversation. Like tell a joke that you think is a little inappropriate, but you find it funny. Why not? See how it
Yeah.
lands. And just, you just never know.
Yeah, this is the same thing when they're talking about like don't be afraid to go in for a kiss if you think there's a connection there.
Yeah.
I mean, girl backs off, it happens, but you never know what will happen if you just got to just go for it and just see.
Yeah. You just have to be unattached to the outcome. I was talking about that earlier in one of the videos I filmed today is just be outcome independent. Like if it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well, then you learn from it and you move on. If it does go well, awesome, cool. Like just kind of roll with the punches. Like don't be afraid to just say something that you're really feeling, something that you really want, and then go for it. You really don't know what that could turn into. I can't tell you the amount of times where I met somebody, and this isn't even just with dating, just someone in my network or, a potential business partner or client that I never would have closed or I never would have connected with if I didn't say something that was like truly on my mind or I didn't say something I really liked. And then it developed into a great relationship. So you have no idea what could happen or what that could turn into.
Right. No, I hear you, man. No, that's 100%. Yeah, you just gotta go out there and not be afraid to go make the changes. I mean, I'm pretty much good with that, but when it comes to like more serious stuff, I kind of takes me like I still hold back a bit. But
Hmm.
I guess we're human, so it happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens. I mean, it just kind of getting, that's why like on some of the podcasts that are out there, like being on like larger panels and like with multiple different people, it's a great kind of tool and experience to just get comfortable talking to people that you just don't agree with. And I think that's a great tool for guys to try. Like not even just panel wise, but being able to kind of like speak your mind, say the things that you really believe in the midst of people that don't agree with you. And if you can do that and be calm and be grounded when you're saying it and you're communicating it, it's a whole different level of just masculine energy, honestly, like just kind of being just locked into it, not being too affected by how other people react to you or what they say. Sticking true to your guns. And you can hear them out. You can maybe change your positioning at some point, but I just think everybody gets so triggered nowadays. Like if someone disagrees with them, they think, "Well, you're a fucking asshole. You're my enemy now." It's like, bro, just you could disagree with somebody and still get along with them.
Yeah. No, that's true. But I think a lot of people like I don't know, but I would say there's are people out there like if they find something they disagree or don't like about you, they'll just move off. But then again, you guys got to say like fuck it. You don't like you know who I am and my beliefs or whatever. It's on you, not me, and you're free to go your own merry way.
Yeah, yeah. Again, it comes back to that being outcome independent. I mean, if they say something that you genuinely don't agree with, it's like a core tenet or value that you live by. That's on you. I mean, if you don't agree with it and that's a non-negotiable, you could walk away with from that. That's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But it just comes down to your values. If there's something you don't agree with that they say, you could talk about it, you could discuss, you could debate. But it's up to you ultimately what you want to do moving forward. Is that a relationship that you still value, or could you live without this person? So it just all
Hmm.
kind of comes back to knowing, what it is that you want, and yeah, just being clear with that.
Right. No, that's true. A very interesting point you just made. So I'm gonna say I would say mindset thing. I guess like I guess my mindset was like I'm trying to think. This is a very deep question here, and I got a lot of
Yeah.
responses. I'm trying to. I was a little busy earlier, so I'm like a little out of it right now. But I would have to say, let's see what comes to mind. I would see. No, but I had to say my mindset was that like I think I mentioned this earlier. Like you have to go out there and see who is right for you. Because a lot of guys too, they have this idea that they want like this gorgeous chick and everything, and then they realize that they're dating other after they go out there and date people. I just learned that no, there's a lot besides the sex. There's a lot of other personality traits too. Uh, the women I've had experiences which I really enjoyed. Because like all the guys yeah, they just think about the sex all the time. But I think I've
Hmm.
learned to like personality wise. Like and I've always had the best experiences with the girls who where we kind of got along and enjoyed each other's company outside of sex.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think you have to. I mean, if it's only sex that's keeping you around, you're gonna get bored really quick. And
Hmm.
if it's just her looks and beauty and how she feels when you're inside of her, it's not gonna last that long.
Right. It's
So
just an ego thing,
yeah.
though. It's like it's
It is,
ego.
yeah.
Your ego gets in the way of a lot of things.
Definitely does. Yeah, you gotta go deeper than that. You gotta look for something that, is you vibe with her spiritually, mentally, you have just similar values, similar interests. I mean, just have more of an enriching relationship that way. If it's just strictly like physical, it's not going to be that fulfilling.
Hmm. But I think when you can have a connection with a girl, on a level that's not physical but more. I mean, like I said, it makes the whole experience great and stuff. But yeah, and I've learned too because like I don't know, like I kind of gotten like so caught up in the whole because I got out of my last relationship with this one girl, my last ex girl, and I just kind of closed off to just having a serious relationship with someone else, and I was only concerned about the casual thing. Um, but I realized lately that well, hey, maybe like looking for something more outside of that is going to be more important moving forward. Uh, because the casual thing is fun, but it's a lot of work. You got to put a lot of money in. Then especially like when you have someone you've had a connection with, and then like you had outside and you had more experiences outside sex with them, and then later on that goes south because of certain things like that can also like it leaves you in the end kind of hurt and frustrated, and but you learn from it, which is good.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, besides even the money, like it's just the time, like the time investment that it goes into that as well. Like your time is only so like you only have so much time. And if you're spending it with a bunch of people who, you know, you don't really connect with like that or have that strong desire to be with, it's going to be something hard to, it's hard to deal with that because you should be investing time into people that are generally like fulfilling and they give you a sense of, you know, of happiness, not happiness, but a sense of just you feel good about yourself when you're around them. You have like quality conversations, good values, alignment, and all of that stuff. So yeah, like it's a time investment to have a bunch of different casual relationships and kind of like you can get lost in that sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, and like it was like especially when my business and stuff was picking up. Like I just couldn't find the time for it. It had to be
Yeah.
more serious directives because like I was more focused on just making extra money and stuff.
Mhm.
And the fact that I had someone at the time, I was like I really enjoyed this person's company more. So you realize, okay, cool. No, it you know, the time is definitely a big factor, and, like, I don't know, like, I think, I don't know, not else, but then, like, you can be spending all that time, that you would be trying to chase women, trying to working on building something with the girl who you actually bring in joy and fulfillment into your life. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah, everything's an opportunity cost. So it's, the more I kind of mature and realize that, it makes me very, very particular with who I spend my time with, who I choose to go hang out with, who I choose to bring into my social gatherings, who I choose to coach, as a coach client relationship, who I choose to have as potential collaborators and things like that. Like I'm very, very aware of where I spend that time. So the same thing applies to women. I mean, it's no different. Kind of the people in your life, you have to just understand, is the time investment worth it, or is it draining? Is it just taking things away from you that you could better spend time elsewhere? So that's another thing kind of to be aware of. Just where are you spending that time, and who's taking up that time in your life?
Right. No, I hear you. Yeah, that's a very good point. Um, but yeah, and see, I mean, if if someone is bringing a positive vibes and energy into your life, and bringing it after you because you felt like you have a connection to it, maybe that person is kind of worth putting more of your time into. And
Mhm,
that's where I think I kind of got, because I was so caught up like in with the casual stuff, I kind of lost sight of that,
mhm.
like, being closed off. So, but like I said, you learn from your experiences in life. So you know if whatever happens moving forward, you know that, like, well, hey, you know what to do next
Yeah,
time. And
100%.
I actually haven't been, I've, I haven't been doing too much dating this month, but
Mhm,
it's because I'm just trying to kind of understand myself and just kind of look into things and see what direction stuff I want to go. Because I'm really, I gotta figure out a few things.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely can respect that because I know that that's a big problem when it comes to breakups is guys go right into the next relationship, or they just kind of lose themselves in drinking and partying and just hanging out with low quality people. That seems to be something that a lot of younger guys typically do. But the mature thing is just spend that time by yourself. Like figure it out. What can you learn from that situation? What can you take away? What can you grow in yourself and in your skill set to now carry that into the next relationship you get involved with. So I always think that the best thing that you can do after going through a breakup or a loss or anything like that, where you're kind of emotionally raw, like you're a little vulnerable in that moment, or you're kind of learning about yourself, just spend that time alone. I talk about being alone a ton on my channel
Hmm.
and just kind of having that relationship built with yourself first. So I think that's the best thing that you can do is to spend that time by yourself.
Hmm. Right, exactly. Because I mean that, like, I think you can kind of like I said, it helps you just to reflect on things and
Yeah,
figure out. Like, I think it has, you have more awareness of what it is you really want, because you tend to get caught up in a lot of things in life. We all
sure.
have our desires as humans,
Hmm.
and you don't like it. You're blinded to a lot of things.
For sure. It could be a distraction. Yeah, a lot of things can be a distraction from yourself and from some of the things you're trying to work on. So yeah, you have to have that boundary and spend enough time with yourself to kind of have that time of reflection and learning.
Hmm. Right. No, that's true. And, like, I think, like, once you have that clarity, you're able to just, like, move forward and kick ass and everything.
Totally.
So, yeah, but I mean, but that's what life is all about. It's all about a bunch of experiences and everything. And, like, I'd have to say I had experienced quite a bit since I moved out here. So,
Hmm.
and it's kind of interesting to see where things go next.
Yeah. Yeah, the life is a journey, and just I think everything is just chalked up to experiences. The more experiences you can get, I mean, just the more wisdom you'll have, the more skills you'll have, the more um just internal confidence you'll have in yourself. I mean, it just kind of that's what makes up life, honestly, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, I hear you on that. Yeah. I mean, but that's how you discover like who you are and everything, you know. And
Yeah.
you'll go through different stages. I'm starting to realize you go through different stages.
Mhm.
And so like you may be in one place for a while, but then you have something that comes up that, maybe alters the course of that where you realize, well, hey, maybe this is, not for me.
Mhm. Yeah,
And you
you
can't be afraid to
definitely
go out
do.
there. You can't be afraid to go out there and take that risk and make the changes.
Mhm. Yeah, there's definitely seasons. I believe that there's different periods of your life where you like one thing or you're really into something for a while, but then a year goes by or a couple years go by or you start to realize you don't really like it anymore or you like something else or something changed and shifted in you. So kind of just being aware of even that, like the changes that naturally happen over the course of your life. Um, New interests, new things that you're into, new discoveries about yourself. I mean, kind of always you're always going to be learning something, something new about yourself. If you're aware enough and you're present enough in that, there's always something to take away.
Hmm. Right, exactly. No, and I had to say though, like it was so weird. Like I don't know. Thinking about a lot of things. Like so I had the opportunity. So someone, it's funny. Like I last week, so I had a few job interviews, just pre-screens, and then I had someone. So I was helping someone with a disability because he was interested in becoming a web designer. So they wanted some questions answered and stuff, and it was so weird. Like when I was just telling him about my journey, it made me like it's good to help him out, but it also made me realize, like I'm like, damn it, like I'm kicking ass
Hmm.
because I was telling him about all the hard work I did, and then all the struggles I went through.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes we forget that. It's like
Yeah,
you were saying a
exactly.
minute ago. Just we get caught up in the day to day. We get caught up in life, and we start to always look at that next thing, always chase the next, success or the next amount of money, the next woman, whatever. Sometimes we forget to look back and be like, damn, I came a long way within the last 5 years or
Right,
however long it's
exactly.
been. It's we sometimes we don't acknowledge the successes we made.
Yeah, I know. You're right. It was so funny because I forgot to mention the job interview thing. So even though it was a phone interview type of thing, like
Hmm.
the lady said to me, I didn't end up getting the job because it was just like there were some things I couldn't do, but she was nice enough to pass my resume on to another department, which is awesome. But
Hmm.
she's like, out of all the people I've interviewed so far, you sounded the most confident out of it because I guess she talked to like five other people, and a bunch of guys they're saying, yeah, they're all stumbling and shit. They're quiet and they're like, you seem very confident. Sure. I'm like, God, I didn't, and it's weird. I don't even think that it's weird. I don't think that sometimes because, like you said, I forget about
Hmm. Yeah, man. I definitely have before. I have a habit of doing that myself where I don't even acknowledge, some of the things that I've done, or just lessons I've learned and stuff. So I try to make that a point every week where I'll sit down Sunday and just review some of the things that I did well, some of the things that I'm proud of or like accomplishments I had. Just kind of reflect on that stuff for a minute. I don't spend my whole day doing that, but just to kind of bring awareness to some of the good that I am doing, just letting myself know, hey, like I'm making progress. I'm not staying where I was, or I'm never just stagnant. There's always things that I can learn from it, and I'm doing well. So I think that is important, especially as men. I think we sometimes we don't look at the things that we are doing well. We always point out the negatives or what we're not doing so well. I guess really it's human nature, but, it's just yeah, it's really important to just have that period of time where you can do that because it just gives you a sense of accomplishment.
right, exactly. No, it's so weird. Like, well, I used to do this every morning, and I got to get back into it. But just kind of wake up every morning, just go outside. I'd sit out on the balcony and stuff, and like I think about like what I'm grateful for what I have.
Yeah.
That helps me reinforce that um, mindset that hey, I got things going. It helps you forget. It makes you feel happy that you have stuff going on.
Mhm. Yeah, man. Dude, totally. Gratitudes are huge. I try to do those every day as well. Just like going outside, thanking God, like thanking the fact that I've have all that I have, and having family that are healthy, happy in my life, just kind of being just really thankful for all that stuff. Cause
Hmm.
it's really hard to be like sad and miserable and in your head when you're literally like you're thankful and joyful of the things that you do have. You can't be both. So it's really it's when you're grateful and you're in that mindset, you're just happier. You just feel more fulfilled.
Hmm. Right. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think, just like I said, you get lost and forget about it. But
Yeah,
it's like, because when you do realize when you have things, like, I mean, I think it energizes you more to do
it
so, makes
does.
you more confident. So that's going to be my exercise every morning. I'm going to hold myself accountable for that, see what happens.
I
But I
love
used to,
that.
I know it was weird. Like a year ago, I did that all the time, and I just,
Hmm.
even it's, sometimes too. Like I'll do this sometimes if I wake up in the middle of the night and I just can't go back to sleep. I do think about some of the things I'm grateful for, and that just kind of helps me like calm down and just knocks me out.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a powerful exercise, and yeah, I need to I need to reincorporate that into my routine as well. It's because it's just it's super important to just kind of have that moment of gratitude and just be thankful. And it's like the saying goes, when you focus on something, you get more of it. So if you're focusing on all the things that are going well in your life, focus on joy, focus on like abundance, success, and all the things you've done, you're gonna attract more of that in your life because you're focusing on that. You're not like doom and gloom all the time. You're actually looking at this stuff, and funny enough, better things start happening too, and like you just get more opportunities. The kind of universe kind of works in your favor at that point.
Hmm. Right. Kind of like that law of like attraction. You kind of attract into your
Yeah,
life what you think of.
most definitely.
Yeah. No, I hear you on that. And like I said, that's one thing. Like I said, gotta work. I definitely gotta work on the gratitude stuff because, like I said, a
Mhm.
lot of stuff always comes up in life, and it's just like, yeah, I forget about all that.
Yeah. Well,
Like
even to kind of to tie it even back to what we were talking about, kind of like learning the lessons from women and stuff. You could even say, to take it a step further, just being grateful for the relationship that you had. Like just being grateful that you met this person, that they taught you lessons, and then you experienced the things that you guys have experienced together because without it, I mean, you wouldn't be where you are right now, and you wouldn't have the mindsets that you have right now. So even like taking it a step further with gratitude is just being grateful for um the things that you did and the things that maybe you even messed up in life, like your failures, being grateful for them because without them you wouldn't have the knowledge and the wisdom that you do now. So it's like that stuff, all everything you really could be grateful about everything if you really put your mind to it.
right. No, I hear you. So you say you'd be grateful for even the girls who treated you like crap, like who mentally and physically abused you.
I'd say yeah, because I mean, it kind of taught you to learn how to be more confident in yourself, to stand up and realize that that's not how you want to be treated. So
Right.
really, everything I have the mindset of gratitude for pretty much everything that happens to me.
Right. I think my brother needs to learn that lesson.
Yeah, yeah,
He just recently
powerful.
got working on a divorce, and now he's back with his girl. This is like an on and off thing.
Mm, yeah,
And
that's
like
tough.
when I saw him last time in when I was in Michigan back in when was it, September, and like I saw him, he was like really broken, man. Like, and like
Mm,
he was ready to pull the trigger. He was going through it. He got the motions again. And then the next, I guess my mom was telling me, oh, they're back together. I was like, oh my God, I'm just gonna.
jeez.
I told my brother he needs to watch my channel, but he don't want to watch it though.
Mm. Yeah, people generally don't watch content like this until they're just really, really down bad and they got they're kind of at rock bottom. At that point, it's like, damn, you should have been watching this whole time because you could have avoided all that.
Right. No, I hear you. No, but that's why I got turned on to content like this, like
Yeah.
back in the day. Because I mean, look where it got me. It motivated me to like seek coaching and stuff. It motivated me to
Right.
break out of my comfort zone and everything.
Mm-hmm. That's what happens.
Oh, look at Riley's in the chat.
What's up, Riley?
I haven't talked to Riley in forever, man. What's up, Riley? Rock and roll. But no, I mean that's true though. Like what were we talking about? I got distracted because I was so excited about Riley being in. I haven't seen Riley in like forever.
Yeah, man. We were just talking about like just being grateful for just like some of the negative things too that even happened in your life. You're talking about your brother for a second, kind of getting into coaching and just
Oh
being,
yeah.
being in where you were.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, that's why I like content like this. My dad always got me into like motivational stuff, and so like I remember in 2007, like I was just pumping, I was just full of it. Like, I
Mhm.
listened to a lot, but even though that stuff is good for you, but if you don't act upon it, then it's not good for
Right.
you.
Yeah, it can turn negative if you don't apply the action right away, because then it just becomes, paralysis by analysis, information overload, like not too many inputs, not enough outputs.
Mm-hmm. But no, and like this, like even this whole process with women, this is a self development thing too,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a learning experience.
Yeah, most definitely is.
Gosh, just like with having a business, learning a skill, it's damn.
It's all learning.
You can tie
All
it
learning.
all in. Like, so I have a mentor that I work with. He's a very cool guy. He's like, you got to have good like mindset and everything. It's like your business is your self development as well. So if you have a
It
shitty
is.
mindset about that, you ain't gonna get nowhere.
No, I mean, I love the quote, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you have a shitty lifestyle and a crap mindset, that's going to transfer into business or your work or career, your relationships, things that you do. So yeah, it's all connected, man. You gotta
Mhm.
have that all in alignment.
Right. Well, hey, do you want to? We're gonna approaching an hour here. Do you want to sum up everything?
Sure. Yeah, man. Really, I think the only thing I can say is just life is all about experiences, and the more that you can take action and the more you get out of your comfort zone, the better, because even if things don't work out, with women, with business, money, friendships, um whatever it really ends up being, now you can learn from it, you can grow, you can take some wisdom with you on your next adventure. So really just learn to be grateful for everything that happens to you, whether it's good or bad, because at the end of the day, it shaped you into who you are right now. And it could lead to something bigger and something better down the line. So yeah, your experiences are, everything to you. So try to take more of them, learn to be grateful, and just keep your eyes open for opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, and I have to say that too. Yeah, be grateful because like I'm glad we got on the subject of gratefulness. But yeah, just be grateful for everything you have, and yeah, just yeah, your process that you go on, good or it's gonna be full of ups and downs. You're gonna be like frustrated. You're gonna be broken heart. You're not gonna have confidence, but just
Mm,
go out there and do it. When you experience those ups and downs, take those as like learning lessons to help you grow as an individual and stuff. And just be grateful that you have the opportunity to do that.
100%. Yeah, got to take the good with
So,
the bad.
exactly. Wow, we're getting deep here. I like it. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's definitely we'll have to do another show 2 weeks from now if you're going to be around. Like that, we got to get back into this because I gotta
Yeah.
maybe I'll have a little bit better, a little bit more better with my time management now, so where I can put some time into my business and do this. So I definitely want to do some more of these shows. And yeah, thanks for joining. We'll be back on in 2 weeks, and then I will be doing another show with King Dre this Wednesday at 7. We're going to talk about pros and cons of being a player.
Nice.
So thank you very much, and rock on, guys. And remember next time to command your fucking confidence and kick some ass.
Hell yeah. Peace.
Bye.